Flowers will flourish thanks to today's wet weather. Dreary days have the power to turn blooms beautiful. And here with a rainbow of those beautiful blooms is gardening expert Ginny Rosenkranz with the University of Maryland Extension. We are talking, hi! We are talking iris. I just can't keep my eyes off of these. They still have the drops of rain on them.
Yes, they were just picked this morning and I just kept them in the car.
Yeah.
So even though it's afternoon, they're still full of water.
They really are, and
Yes.
they are beautiful. Irises really love this to bloom this time of year.
Right. May is the perfect time for irises, and there's all kinds, but these are the bearded iris that I just love. And also, they love our sandy Eastern Shore soil.
Oh.
So it makes it just a made in heaven kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in different colors?
Oh, that's the neat thing about irises. They do come in a rainbow of colors. From pure white, I had white, they're already done.
Really?
Yes. And it goes from white to the palest yellow to the brightest yellow, and it goes from that into oranges, and then sort of a reddish color. I have one that's sort of a reddish brown. You can call it reddish brown, And then it goes from the palest blue to the darkest blue to the darkest purple that almost looks black. And people go, oh, I have a black iris. Well, it's really purple.
It's
that's okay.
yeah.
And then they have these beautiful petals that are smooth and soft or ruffly and, all one color or a couple of different colors or multi-colors. It's just, you can spend a lot of money on irises.
I bet. So you said the white blooms are pretty much done, but they bloom more than once a year, don't they?
Well, that's the neat thing about irises. You can have the regular iris that only blooms in the springtime. It looks gorgeous like this. But then there's also the ones that are called rebloomers, and they bloom later on in the summer. And that depends on a lot of things. Did they have enough fertilizer? With our sandy soil, I like to add a little bit of compost around them just to give them a little bit more fertilizer. If you add too much fertilizer, they start to rot, and that's not a good thing.
No.
So you really want to be careful, because these are lean, mean, happy machines with all the colors. So, make sure that they're planted in full sun. They have really well-drained soil. And the other thing is, these guys don't like to be crowded. So it's a good thing to have friends that you can go ahead and dig some of them up and separate them and share, giving them elbow room to grow.
Yeah.
And then everybody else gets some of your beautiful flowers.
So you brought these from your house.
Yes.
When did you initially plant them? I mean.
Oh, wow. It depends on the varieties. There's one called Grand Canyon Sunset that's multicolors. We planted that about 3 or 4 years ago. And the deep purple with all the ruffles, I think we planted that about 3 years ago too. But most of the ones I have here have been planted about 20 years.
Yeah.
And I keep digging them up and sharing them with friends. Yeah. Luckily, I have friends.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. And
Yes.
I mean, any friend would not turn down these
Yes.
beautiful irises. You usually plant them in the fall?
The time to separate them is actually in August, which I think
Really?
kind of productive, but these guys really don't mind the drought and all that kind of stuff. And what that does is it gives them a chance to get them reestablished in the soil.
Okay.
Now, these have what's called a rhizome. So it's like this, it looks like a root that's horizontal, but it's a rhizome, which means that it has to be above the ground. So you plant 1/3 of it in the soil and the other 2/3 up. Good to go.
Good to go.
Good to go.
Well, Jenny, they are absolutely beautiful. Gardening expert Ginny Rosenkranz with the University of Maryland Extension and her irises.
Beautiful
Thank you
irises.
so much.
Thanks for having me and my friends.